Lira, listen, interact, reflect, act. Answer. 1. What is Lira? L for listen. Listen to a short story or narration. 3-4 minutes duration. I for interact. As you listen, you will need to interact with the text. Pay attention. Focus on the different aspects of the story. For example, plot and the development of characters. R for reflect. Query or ask questions, wonder, reflect or ponder on the reasons, rationale or logic in the short story. For example, if you are the character in the short story, how would you react to the situation? A for answer. Put your thoughts together and write online in not less than 120 words. What are the benefits of Lira? The activity will benefit students in the following ways. A. It increases their knowledge. Students get to know about various places, practices in life, relationships etc., through stories. Most of the stories depict good and bad characters. Listening to these stories will help them to have an idea of accepted style of behaviors and acts to avoid. B. It helps students learn new vocabulary. Students are exposed to new vocabulary and are able to understand meaning and context. C. It improves their listening skills. Students obtain the necessary training to listen based on the skills learned from the previous chapters in the course. How long should the entries be? The students are expected to write each entry should be a minimum of 120 words. The most important part is that students respond insightfully to the given task, providing specific text details. What should the students be writing about? This is entirely based on the given task. The students are not encouraged to summarize what has happened in the story. Instead, they record their responses to the short stories, by giving evidences extracted from the short stories. Some of the tasks may require that they do the following. Do you have questions about what has happened? What about the characters? Are they believable? How do you feel about a character's actions? What predictions do you have? On a scale of 1, low, and 5, high, how would you rate this story? Why? What do students do if they don't know what to write? Here are examples of some phrases that can help students with their entry if they do not know how to respond to a given task. They may use one of the following phrases if it applies to what they have noticed in the listening activity. I was impressed by. I noticed that. I wonder about. This reminds me of. I never thought. This part of the story makes me feel. I predict. What is the right response? Each short story they listen to will be different, and each person who listens to it will have a different perspectives. Its purpose is not to test the students' knowledge but allow them to listen, reflect, interact and act, respond to what has been heard. The responses will never be marked right or wrong. What about grammar and spelling? Do not bother too much about the grammar and spelling. The most important is to get students to respond to a text. Entries must be complete and coherent. How to complete, submit entries. Students will be given 2 weeks to listen and respond to a short story online. During this time they are encouraged to listen to the story and discuss the story with friends. The students will then complete their entries using the notes that they have done. After 2 weeks, the instructor then collects the entries online to be graded. Are the logs, entries graded? The entries will be evaluated on the quality of work and the thoughtfulness of students' writing. The ideas, responses, will not be judged right or wrong. The following grading criteria are used to measure the fortnightly entry based on the selected short stories. Each entry will be awarded a total of 5 marks. In summary, Lira is a listening log based on the given short stories. The purpose of Lira is to provide opportunity for students to respond personally, to ask questions, wonder, predict, or reflect on the plot, setting, characters, events, themes or language of the text, etc. Therefore, they should complete listening to the selected story and understand it thoroughly before the entries are written. Any other question? Please post your questions in the comment column below. The end.